Hi, and welcome to another Elder Watch web series. This time, we're talking about financial tools that you can implement to protect your identity and your money. And today we'll be talking about ChexSystems or consumer reports. This presentation is brought to you by Elder Watch. Elder Watch is a 20-plus year collaboration between AARP and the Colorado Attorney General's Office. Our mission is to protect and educate older Coloradans when it comes to fraud and financial literacy. So if you or someone you know has experienced fraud or a scam, go ahead and give us a phone call. Our phone number is 800-222-4444, select option 2. My name is Jessica Zawadsky, and I am the program specialist for Elder Watch Colorado. This video is one in a 4-part video series on financial tools. The other topics that we're covering in this series are credit reports, credit freezes, and fraud alerts. But today we're talking about ChexSystems and consumer reports. So first we'll talk about what is ChexSystems. Then we'll talk about what information might be on the consumer report that ChexSystems will generate. After that, we'll talk about how to get your consumer report, specifically from ChexSystems, though it's not the only consumer reporting agency. We'll also talk about how ChexSystems differs from credit reports and freezes. And then we will end by talking about how this is a tool that protects your financial health and your identity. So ChexSystems is one of a couple consumer reporting agencies. It is one of the bigger ones. Another large one is Early Warning Services, but they all kind of do the same thing, which is essentially to give banks, credit unions, and other financial institutions information about your banking history. If you are thinking about opening up a bank account or applying for another financial product. This process with ChexSystems and consumer reports, it's kind of similar to credit scores and credit reports, wherein a credit score and a credit report can help a lender make an informed decision about issuing you a line of credit based on your history. Similarly, the consumer report or ChexSystems can help a bank to make an informed decision about whether they want to take you on as a client based on your banking history. It's kind of like a credit score. ChexSystems and consumer reports will give you a score that's related to your level of risk. Those scores are between 100 and 899, where that higher score indicates a lower level of risk. The other things that might be within your consumer report include information on closed accounts, checking and saving, inquiries from institutions, typically those that you're trying to do business with, and information related to check cashing as well as returned checks. There could be other things, but those are kind of the main things that you should expect to find on a consumer report. So before talking about how you get this report, I do want to mention again that ChexSystems is not the only consumer reporting agency, but it is a big one that a lot of banks will use. It is also not necessarily used by all financial institutions. They might use a different service. They might do things internally. That said, ChexSystems can still be a great kind of overall view into your banking history. So to get your consumer report, the really best and easiest way is to do it online. You can do that at ChexSystems.com, ChexSystems.com. From there, you'll need to create that free account, but it's definitely much easier and a quicker process than the accounts with the credit bureaus. So if you've done that before, this will be a piece of cake. Okay, so you might be wondering, okay, well, Jess, I already ran my credit report, so why do I need this other report as well? And I kind of think about the difference between ChexSystems and your credit report as being a debit card versus a credit card. So ChexSystems only contains information related to your banking. So it doesn't contain information related to lines of credit. It only has to do with your money that you are putting into accounts pretty much. So I think about it as like a debit card credit score. Whereas a credit report will not have information on your banking habits. It only has information on those lines of credit and those repayments. So it's a credit card credit score. The thing that they have in common is that they are both used to evaluate risk before you are receiving a new financial product, whether it's on the credit report side, maybe a mortgage, or on the ChexSystems side, maybe a new savings account. ChexSystems and other consumer reports can be really helpful for protecting your identity and financial health in 3 ways. The first is if you run your consumer report and you see accounts that you don't recognize, this could indicate identity theft. Now you have the information so you can act on it before it ruins and messes up your finances. So it's helpful because it gives you that information. With ChexSystems, you can also place security alerts and freezes. So that security alert is pretty similar to a fraud alert, where it requires whoever is trying to get your information to verify that it really is you, gives them extra verification steps to ensure that that account is being opened with your consent. And then similarly, that ChexSystems freeze is designed to prevent new accounts, new checking, savings, whatever accounts, to be opened without your consent, and it will block them, whoever is trying to view the inquiry before issuing that new account, from seeing your report. So those are 3 ways that ChexSystems can be very helpful in protecting your identity and financial health. And that's a wrap for today. Thank you so much for joining me to learn a little bit more about ChexSystems and consumer reports. As I mentioned before, this video is 1 in a 4-part series on financial tools. So the other things that we'll be talking about are credit reports, credit freezes, and fraud alerts. For all of us here at ElderWatch, my name is Jessica Zawadski. Don't hesitate to give us a phone call if you maybe found an account that you don't recognize on your consumer report, and now you need to take some steps to protect your identity. Our phone number is 800-222-4444. Select option 2. We'll see you next time. Stay safe.